her? I didn't speak to anyone, let alone her, didn't know who she was. And so I was very confused. And they specifically kept saying, I'm freaking out. Am I going to lose my job at this point? Because you know how interns, the gravity of it hits me as I walk out and I just like start crying because I'm like, oh my God, like, okay, I'm extremely weirded out. I actually cried on the train home. I used to take the train back to Long Island. Like, I was mortified. Like, again, not only did I not treat her unprofessionally, but nobody to my experience that I saw spoke to her. Like,
Blake Lively, Hollywood's golden girl, the picture-perfect celebrity mom, and a beloved star. But beneath the glitz and glamour, could there be a darker side to this A-lister? From shocking accusations by her former assistant to whispers of infidelity and behind-the-scenes feuds, the image of Blake Lively as a Hollywood sweetheart is starting to crack. In this video, we're diving deep into the controversies surrounding Blake Lively, her alleged mistreatment of coworkers, her rumored romantic drama, and the celebrities who can't stand her. Is she truly a bully hiding behind a polished facade, or is this all just Hollywood gossip spun out of control? Stay tuned, because the details we're about to reveal might just change the way you see Blake forever.
oh, this girl has a pattern of flipping the narrative, playing the victim, and then leveraging her status to actually bully and mistreat other people. So I've never heard of Justin Baldoni. I'm someone who, again, worked with Hollywood directors, never heard of this guy. This might have been his big break. And what I saw is her harassing.
Blake Lively's former assistant didn't hold back when she shared the details of her time working with the star. Her account paints a picture of someone far from the kind, approachable image Blake is known for. According to the assistant, Blake wasn't just difficult, she was downright cruel. The assistant revealed that Blake frequently belittled her staff, creating a toxic environment on set. One incident left the assistant in tears on her way home, as Blake's harsh comments and inflated ego made her feel small and insignificant. I actually cried on the train home, she confessed, recounting how she was unfairly scolded for merely existing in Blake's presence. The accusations don't end there. Blake allegedly accused her of unprofessional behavior and claimed she was acting like a flustered fan. But here's the catch. This incident didn't take place after Blake became a household name. It happened during her early days in Hollywood on the set of The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. At the time, Blake was far from a superstar, yet she allegedly demanded the same level of reverence as an A-lister. The assistant's story raises questions about whether Blake's holier-than-thou attitude started before fame even found her. If this behavior was present early in her career, what does it say about her now? As more insiders come forward with similar claims, the cracks in Blake's polished image continue to grow. But the assistant's account is just the tip of the iceberg. There's much more to uncover about Blake's controversial reputation. Blake Lively's love life has often been painted as a fairy tale, but behind the scenes, rumors of betrayal and infidelity tell a very different story. One of the most shocking claims revolves around her relationship with her now husband, Ryan Reynolds, and the timeline of their romance. Before Blake and Ryan became Hollywood's it couple, Ryan was married to Scarlett Johansson. However, whispers from the set of Green Lantern, where Blake and Ryan co-starred, suggest that their chemistry wasn't confined to the screen. Crew members have claimed the pair frequently disappeared from set, allegedly sneaking off to nearby hotels together. This raised eyebrows, as Ryan was still publicly married to Scarlett at the time. While Ryan has publicly denied any wrongdoing, insiders insist otherwise. According to sources, their flirtation was anything but innocent. In fact, rumors claim that Blake broke off her own relationship around the same time Ryan finalized his divorce from Scarlett. The fallout from these alleged events has left a bitter taste for many. Scarlett Johansson reportedly harbors resentment toward Blake, with insiders claiming she avoids being in the same room as her. The tension between the two women has become an open secret in Hollywood, further fueling the narrative of Blake's controversial reputation. The question remains, was this just a case of a relationship blossoming under unfortunate circumstances, or was there deliberate betrayal involved? Regardless of the truth, these rumors have added another layer of complexity to Blake's carefully curated public image. But this is far from the only scandal tied to her name. Let's dive deeper into Blake's alleged mistreatment of those who worked with her. Blake Lively's alleged mistreatment of people in the industry isn't limited to co-stars. It extends to interns and even seasoned reporters. These stories paint a picture of someone who leveraged her status to belittle others, often leaving them humiliated and emotionally scarred. One of the most notable accusations comes from Jamie, an intern who worked with Blake early in her career. Jamie's experience took place during the filming of The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, a time when Blake was far from the superstar she is today. Despite this, Jamie claims Blake displayed an alarming level of arrogance, accusing her of behaving like a flustered fan for simply speaking to her. Blake's complaint reportedly led to Jamie being reprimanded by superiors, leaving her mortified and in tears. "I was sweating, freaking out, and just trying to explain that I didn't even talk to her," Jamie recounted. Despite her attempts to clear her name, Blake's accusations stuck, leaving the intern questioning her future in the industry. Blake's alleged bullying wasn't just limited to interns. Fast forward to her Hollywood prime, and a similar story emerges involving a well-respected celebrity reporter. While promoting the film Cafe Society, the reporter offered Blake a friendly compliment about her pregnancy. Instead of accepting the comment graciously, Blake fired back with a snarky remark that left the reporter stunned and humiliated. The situation escalated when Blake continued to dismiss the reporter's questions throughout the interview, choosing to interact solely with her co-star. This cold, condescending behavior became the talk of the press circuit, with many questioning why someone at the top of their career would act so unkindly. These stories, spanning years and different stages of Blake's career, suggest a pattern of behavior that contradicts her public image. Whether it's interns just starting their careers or journalists with years of experience, Blake's alleged actions have left many feeling disrespected and undervalued. But these aren't the only accusations Blake has faced. Her controversial defense of certain Hollywood figures has further tarnished her reputation. Let's explore how her public stances have sparked backlash. Blake Lively's sparkling Hollywood image has often been at odds with stories from those who have worked with her. While she's known for her elegance and charm on screen, behind the scenes, it seems that not everyone shares the same glowing opinion of the actress. Over the years, several industry figures, co-stars, collaborators, and even interviewers have hinted at or outright revealed their difficulties working with her, painting a picture that is anything but harmonious. One of the most notable examples of tension involves Blake's time on the hit show Gossip Girl. Her relationship with co-star Leighton Meester, who played Blair Waldorf, has been described as frosty at best. Reports from the set suggest that the two actresses didn't just clash, they outright avoided each other whenever possible. The alleged rift was so significant that cast members felt compelled to pick sides, creating a divisive environment during filming. To this day, Blake and Leighton do not follow each other on social media, even though Leighton maintains connections with other Gossip Girl cast members like Penn Badgley and Chase Crawford. Many fans and insiders speculate that Blake's diva-like behavior and competitive streak contributed to the fractured dynamic between the two stars. Blake's interactions with other co-stars have also raised eyebrows. Anna Kendrick, who became acquainted with Blake through Ryan Reynolds, initially had a positive impression of her. However, in a later interview, Anna subtly alluded to the fact that her opinion of Blake had changed over time. A viral moment during a promotional event further fueled rumors of tension between the two actresses. When Blake reached out to touch Anna during the event, Anna visibly recoiled, an awkward moment that fans quickly dissected as evidence of friction. America Ferrera, Blake's co-star in The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, has also been linked to stories of strained interactions. In one particularly telling instance, the two actresses participated in a promotional interview for the film. Rather than discussing the movie, Blake shifted the focus to her role in Gossip Girl, dominating the conversation and seemingly sidelining Ferrera. Clips of Ferrera's expressions during the interview, including visible irritation, went viral among fans, further solidifying the narrative that Blake's self-centered tendencies often overshadow her collaborative efforts. The list doesn't end there. Armie Hammer, who briefly worked with Blake during a stint on Gossip Girl, has also hinted at a less than positive experience. During a talk show appearance, when asked about the biggest diva he had worked with, Hammer described his time on the show as particularly challenging. Although he didn't explicitly name Blake, his remarks left little room for interpretation. Chelsea Handler, who was hosting the segment, didn't hesitate to point fingers, jokingly suggesting that Blake was the source of the trouble. Hammer's refusal to deny the comment only added fuel to the fire. Another memorable incident involved Blake's interactions with the press, particularly during an interview for the film Cafe Society. A seasoned celebrity reporter, Krista Law, offered a warm compliment about Blake's pregnancy, only to be met with a snarky, dismissive response. Instead of a gracious acknowledgement, Blake turned the comment into an awkward joke at the reporter's expense, leaving her visibly humiliated. Throughout the interview, Blake reportedly ignored the reporter entirely, choosing to interact solely with her co-star Parker Posey. The incident left a lasting impression on the reporter, who later described the experience as one of the most uncomfortable moments of her career. Blake's history of strained relationships and awkward interactions raises questions about the stark contrast between her public persona and her private behavior. While some chalk these incidents up to personality clashes or misunderstandings, the sheer number of stories suggests a pattern that's hard to ignore. But perhaps what makes these accounts even more perplexing is the way they contrast with Blake's polished and charitable public image. How could someone so beloved by fans and admired for her style and grace leave such a negative impression on so many industry professionals? Is this simply the price of fame, or is there a deeper issue at play? As we move forward, it's worth examining how Blake's actions and public stances on controversial figures have added fuel to the fire. Let's delve into how her defense of certain Hollywood figures has sparked further backlash and raised even more questions about her reputation. Blake Lively's Hollywood controversies aren't just limited to her relationships with co-stars and interns. Her public support of certain polarizing figures has often landed her in hot water, creating even more cracks in her carefully curated image as a champion of integrity and empowerment. One of the most notable instances was Blake's outspoken admiration for Woody Allen. The director's reputation had already been deeply tarnished by allegations of abuse from his adopted daughter, Dylan Farrow. Despite these accusations and the mounting backlash against Allen during the Not Me Too movement, Blake not only worked with him on the film Cafe Society, but also went on to praise his directorial style as empowering. This sparked immediate outrage, with many accusing Blake of being a hypocrite. On one hand, she publicly condemned Harvey Weinstein, another Hollywood figure accused of predatory behavior, stating that she stood with survivors of abuse. Yet, her willingness to work with and publicly defend Allen sent a conflicting message. Dylan Farrow herself called out Blake for her hypocrisy, pointing out the double standard in her support of Allen while condemning Weinstein for similar alleged behaviors. Blake's reluctance to address these criticisms directly only fueled the backlash. Instead of acknowledging the controversy, she seemed to brush off the allegations, continuing to speak positively about her experience with Allen. For many, this demonstrated a troubling lack of accountability and a willingness to sidestep difficult questions when it suited her career. This wasn't the first time Blake's actions raised eyebrows. During the promotion of Cafe Society, she made dismissive remarks about the allegations against Allen in interviews, focusing instead on how much she admired his artistry. These comments came at a time when Hollywood was undergoing a significant reckoning over abuse and misconduct, making her stance even more controversial. But Blake's association with contentious figures doesn't end with Woody Allen. Her support for certain brands and public figures has occasionally sparked criticism, especially when these affiliations contradict her public statements about empowerment and justice. Critics have argued that Blake's actions suggest a pattern of prioritizing her career and personal interests over genuine advocacy for the causes she claims to support. While many celebrities have faced similar criticisms, Blake's situation feels particularly jarring given her carefully crafted image as a relatable, down-to-earth star. Her choices and the backlash they've generated serve as a reminder that in Hollywood, actions often speak louder than words. As these controversies continue to stack up, they raise an important question. Is Blake's support for controversial figures a sign of personal indifference to their allegations, or is it part of a larger pattern of prioritizing self-interest over principle? Next, we'll dive into the growing list of celebrities who have spoken out against Blake and what their stories reveal about her behavior behind the scenes. Blake Lively's reputation in Hollywood is a patchwork of admiration and animosity, with her relationships behind the scenes often making as many headlines as her acting roles. While fans see her as the picture-perfect actress and doting mother, insiders suggest a more complicated narrative marked by frosty relationships and whispered tensions. One of the most talked about feuds is her alleged rivalry with Gossip Girl co-star Leighton Meester. The two portrayed best friends on screen, but their off-screen relationship was reportedly anything but friendly. Insiders claim Blake and Leighton avoided each other as much as possible during filming, creating a divide that extended to the rest of the cast. By the time the show ended, their strained dynamic had become so apparent that it was hard to ignore. Even now, the two actresses don't follow each other on social media, though Leighton maintains connections with other Gossip Girl alumni, including Penn Badgley and Chase Crawford. This enduring distance has led many to believe that the tension wasn't just a passing phase, but a deeper, unresolved conflict. Blake's interactions with other co-stars haven't fared much better. Armie Hammer, who had a brief stint on Gossip Girl, described his time on set as challenging. When pressed for details during a talk show appearance, Hammer hinted at behind-the-scenes drama that made his experience less than enjoyable. Although he stopped short of naming Blake directly, host Chelsea Handler didn't hesitate to speculate, jokingly suggesting that Blake was the problem. Hammer's refusal to deny this only added fuel to the fire, leaving viewers to wonder just how difficult Blake was to work with. Even during her earlier years in Hollywood, Blake's relationships with her peers showed signs of strain. While promoting the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, she reportedly clashed with co-star America Ferrera. In a promotional interview for the film, Blake dominated the conversation, steering it toward her role in Gossip Girl rather than focusing on the movie they were there to promote. America's visible irritation in the clip didn't go unnoticed, with fans pointing out how Blake seemed to make everything about herself, leaving little room for her co-stars to speak. Blake's ability to spark tension isn't limited to her co-stars. It extends to her relationships with industry professionals. Reports suggest that Blake's influence on set has occasionally led to significant fallout. For instance, it's rumored that she played a role in Armie Hammer's departure from Gossip Girl. While the official reasons for his exit remain vague, many believe Blake's alleged diva-like behavior contributed to the decision, further tarnishing her reputation among those who worked closely with her. Even her social media relationships, or lack thereof, have raised eyebrows. Blake's decision not to follow certain former co-stars, including Leighton, Meester, and others she's shared the screen with, has sparked speculation about lingering grudges. Meanwhile, her connections with more amicable colleagues, like Anna Kendrick's visibly awkward interactions with her during promotional events, highlight the complicated dynamics she seems to create. These incidents point to a recurring theme. Blake's on-screen charm doesn't always extend to her professional relationships. Whether it's co-stars, crew members, or industry veterans, many of Blake's interactions have left a trail of unresolved tension and damaged rapport. As these stories pile up, they paint a picture of a star who may not be as universally beloved behind the scenes as she appears in the public eye. But is this simply the nature of Hollywood, where competition and egos clash, or does it reflect something deeper about Blake's approach to her career and relationships? Next, we'll delve into how these controversies and feuds have shaped Blake's overall public image and what it means for her future in an industry that increasingly values transparency and authenticity. Blake Lively's life in the spotlight has long been framed as a fairy tale, but the cracks in her polished persona tell a more complicated story. From allegations of bullying interns and co-stars to strained relationships with industry professionals and controversial public stances, the image of Blake as Hollywood's sweetheart is increasingly up for debate. These revelations paint a picture of a star whose private actions often contrast starkly with her public persona. Whether it's her rumored feuds with Leighton Meester and Scarlett Johansson, her alleged role in co-star tensions, or her support of contentious figures like Woody Allen, Blake's reputation is anything but spotless. For some, these stories confirm suspicions of a diva attitude and self-interest overshadowing her charm. For others, they raise the question, is this just the cost of fame in an industry fueled by gossip and competition? At the end of the day, the truth about Blake Lively may lie somewhere in between. While her alleged behavior has left a trail of hurt feelings and controversy, it's worth considering how much of this is amplified by Hollywood's relentless microscope. What remains clear is that public perception of Blake Lively is evolving. Whether she's truly the bully some claim her to be, or simply a victim of an industry that thrives on drama, one thing is certain: Blake's story is far from over. As more voices come forward and the spotlight continues to shine on her, the question lingers. How will she navigate this storm and reshape her legacy? What do you think about Blake Lively? Is she misunderstood, or do these accusations reflect a troubling reality? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to follow for more deep dives into Hollywood's untold stories.